Once upon a time. Welcome to Australian Book Lovers, your destination for imagination.
Australian Book Lovers acknowledges First Nations peoples and recognises their continuous connection to country, community and to culture. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and honour the sharing of traditional stories passed down through generations. We're committed to a safe and inclusive welcome for authors and readers of all cultures and backgrounds, including people of LGBTQIA+ communities and their families.
A big warm welcome to 2026 and to everyone, and a huge thank you to you all for joining us for the Australian Book Lovers podcast. Our mission is to bring fabulous Australian and Indigenous authors and literature that spans a whole range of genres to book lovers around the globe, as well as fantastic resources and information for passionate authors looking to write their first or best or their next bestseller. I'm Laurie Bell, science fiction and fantasy author, blogger, short story writer, flash fiction writer, bit of every big reader, and your co-host today for the Australian Book Lovers podcast. Hello, Veronica.
Hello, Laurie. And yes, big reader. I think that could be a category on Goodreads, a big reader, because
big reader.
I'm up there with you, a big reader. There is no time when I don't either have a book in my hand, a book in front of me, or a book on my ears. So I'm listening, reading all the time in the car. Yes, so that's one advantage of having multiple site job where you have to drive between places. I can always get a half hour or 45 minutes.
Does your mister get all these books down as well with you listening, or are you listening in your ears?
Yeah, unfortunately, he doesn't like the listening. He prefers to listen to, the good old 80s, 90s. No.
Oh, yes, yep.
That's all right, while he's driving along. So I have to either read my Kindle or, look, interestingly, I can read my Kindle, but I can't read a paper book. While
really?
I'm a
while in the car? See, I can do either or both or everything, and I can edit on the train as well.
Right.
So I'm sorry to hear that. That's a
thank
bit
you.
of a bummer.
That's all right. But the Kindle is okay. Or occasionally I do put the headphones in and just listen.
Nice.
But that's all right. Nice. We forgot to say who I am. So I'm Veronica Strachan, aka Viv Patton, and here we are starting the year a bit all over the place, but stick with us because we are up to episode 160, and I am your co-presenter today, coming to you from the fabulous Woiwurrung country here in Victoria.
As am I, because I did miss that myself. So yes, I am on beautiful Wurundjeri Woiwurrung country.
Yeah, and it is the best place in the world. Let's be honest. Yeah,
particularly when the sun finally comes out, as it does in January.
Yes, that's it. So I know everybody will be dead keen to be setting their goals and be setting reading goals.
Absolutely.
Setting writing goals.
And reading all those books you got for Christmas.
Yes.
And for your holiday season and for any kind of early January birthdays that all the kiddies have, or the late December birthdays.
All of those.
Get onto those books.
We'll talk more about books. We've got a very special book spotlight coming up very soon. But before we do all that, I wanted to give the writers amongst you who are thinking, what am I going to do this year? How am I going to get my book done? Whatever. So, we've been reading last couple of episodes. We've had the fabulous K.M. Allan's writing and editing checklist, but she also has a free ebook on her website called Authoring Checklists. Now that's only half the title. I'll get you. The rest of the title is Authoring Checklist, Tips and Tricks for Being a Modern Writer. It's a free companion ebook to the writing and editing checklist. So jump onto Kate's website and have a look there. And I thought I would just briefly share the writing habit checklist. Because boy, do I need this.
Yep. Yep.
So Kate starts, writing's one of those activities where no matter if you do it full-time or crammed into lunch breaks, there's a never-ending to-do list attached. Some days the easier option would be to put off the writing altogether, but spoiler alert, binge watching your favourite TV show yet again makes zero progress towards your writing goals. Who knew, right?
Yep.
Yes. So Kate has got some fabulous suggestions for getting yourself into a habit. And, as a coach, and I understand the neural pathways, you've got to do this. And I've let mine kind of fester and die.
January is a good time to do
January.
it.
Indeed, I will be getting back onto it. So, number 1, create the right environment. Number 2, pick the right time. Number 3, split your writing into dedicated weeks. Because I know Kate does a writing week and an authoring week where she does her social media and her blogs and other things.
Nice.
Designate a catch-all day. I might tell you about that one later. Start time blocking. Always dive right in. Keep a visual track record. Implement a 3-day writing rule. Love that one too. Specify your tasks and prioritize them. Use a whiteboard. Take regular breaks. Reward yourself. And with all of those things, yes. Yeah, reward. I do a little bit too much rewarding. So with all of those things, Kate has given you little bits and pieces about what that might look like for you. For example, the 3-day rule. This rule is simple. Don't go more than 3 days without writing. You don't have to write much. Sometimes you may only have 5 minutes and scribble down one sentence. Other days, it could be pages filled with anything and everything that comes to mind. The point is to keep at daily writing daily while you can. And when you can't, make sure to only put writing on the back burner for a maximum of 3 days. There you go. So why 3? It covers weekends. It's enough time to have a break, but not so long that the break becomes too easy to do anything but plant yourself in front of your keyboard. So I like that one.
I definitely like that one because I'm a queen procrastinator. And this year has been particularly bad for the procrastinating. So, yes, I like and as prolific writers, and you would know this too, Veronica, you do start feeling a bit like you haven't done something.
Yeah.
I should be doing this. I should be writing. I should be editing.
Yes.
A lot of shoulds. So having that 3-day, I like a 3-day rule. It keeps you somewhat on track.
Somewhat on track. Indeed. That's all. Yeah. And so designate a catch-all day. So the catch-all day is when you set aside time at the end of the week to look at what you didn't accomplish and try and get it done then. Reserve it for your most important tasks or the smaller jobs that mean you can get stuck into that important task first thing the next week. So lots of really good ideas for creating a writing habit. And I really urge you to jump onto Kate's website. She has lots of fabulous blogs. And as I said,
there's great blogs. Definitely all
so
the
helpful.
writers out there should be following Kate's blogs too, because that's useful as well.
Yeah. So there you go. But we probably need to do a little news.
Yes. I will do a wrap as a final end of year thing, even though January we're bumping into the new year. But the ASA did release, and I don't know if you were going to mention this too, the 2025 survey of creator income. It's sobering reading. And there's a couple of really pretty graphs that have lots of pretty colors, but the numbers aren't great. So I recommend you have a read if you are an aspiring writer thinking, hey, this is going to be my full-time job for the rest of my life. I'm going to sit pretty on all the money that I make. So it's definitely gone down. It was looking at regular, I hesitate to use the word regular, frequent authors or authors that consider themselves full-time. We're looking at about 18,000 a year, which has dropped to 15,000. So
wow, that's not good.
It's not great. And more authors in the survey did report receiving 0 royalties last year. So the numbers are not great. They're not going in the right direction, which is not great. It's basically down 81% from last year with the respondents. So
if you can't afford a book, we know times are tough. Borrow it from your library, because by doing that, the author still gets a small a royalty,
Yep.
you get the satisfaction of reading the book for
Mhm.
free.
Mhm.
You keep your librarians employed. Let's,
And then tell
add
everyone,
that. And
also
then tell
free.
everyone, also free. Yeah. So, yeah,
Yeah.
we
So
recognize things are tough, but,
it's a bit
tough for
rough out
everybody.
there for
Yeah.
writers, but
Mm.
again, we do it because we need to, so we just need more support, I guess. And maybe with the kids coming off social media now, maybe there's a chance of spreading the joy. And speaking of spreading the joy, so reading this summer, the Australia Reads always has some great articles in regard to just spreading the love of reading and getting people back into reading. And they interviewed a bunch of young readers now that their social media has been curtailed, and have basically said what can you get you back into reading? What can you get you back into books? And a lot of the kids responded with reading with family, reading with
Mm.
parents, because it gets them to chat about the book with someone that it lets them spend time with that parental figure, or that grandparent, or whoever the case might be. Teens obviously want to choose their own books. So it might be a bit late since Christmas has passed, but for January, for kicking off summer, for getting back into school maybe, or birthdays, vouchers are good, book vouchers. Take them into the bookshops with them and just let them go to town. Let them pick their own books. Anything is a book, comic books are books, audio books are books. Let them pick what they want, because it'll get them they're more likely to finish
Mm.
reading a
Mm.
book if they've
Mm.
chosen it themselves.
Yeah.
One of the other things they said is, because BookTop and Bookstagram are now restricted for them, they've got to get new ways to learn about books. So love that they're suggesting visiting the school libraries. So I do like that one as an option. Not always a great option for indie authors, but having that getting yourself out there, getting into the libraries if you can. Markets are another great place to get out there so you can talk about your books. And then there's quite a few still online channels, but things like Love Oz YA, Storygraph, Goodreads, Fable, Libby, BorrowBox, as we were talking about with the library books. So even though they've got their e-readers, get them get them reading. It kind of doesn't matter how they
Yes. But
find
let
their
them
books.
find the magic of words.
Exactly. And for parents and teachers, there's some great sites like Your Kids Next Read, Reading Australia, which we always chat about, Good Reading, the Children's Book Council of Australia Awards, the Other YA Awards, which is actually called Other YA Awards, which on the Australia Reads list, it does actually have a list of these other awards. So the Children's Book Council of Australia, the Australian Book Industry Awards, the Government and Arts Run Awards, the Aurealis Awards, which we talk about as well, the Text Prize. So there's so many out there that can get parents more knowledgeable about maybe new books coming out for teens. And then they can recommend them to their teens, or even read with them together. And then the last thing the kids mention is finding time to read, which is
Mm.
trickier because they've got homework, they've got extracurricular activities, social commitments. So I do like their own putting their hand up saying, hey, we need time to read.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
not a quick thing. It's not something you can just get done and dusted in a half hour.
No,
If you get into a book, you want to be reading for hours,
I know.
right into the night and go late to school. No. So anyway, it's a great article. I had a good read of it myself, and I think you should as well. They've got another article very briefly that talks about spreading the joys of reading this summer, talking about giving the gift of reading, embracing the holiday downtime, reading together, talking about books with friends and family, reading with the little kids, reading with the bigger kids, visiting the library or the bookstore, and then just chatting about the books that they like. So
Brilliant.
all fun stuff.
They are doing some great research and supporting
They,
this area. Yeah.
yeah,
Going from
I'm all over
on and
it.
on. You are. All right. I am going to be all over telling you about Anna Featherstone,
Mm.
who is a writer, author, advocate, and presenter. And she puts together the list of Australian writers' festivals and writers'
Hey.
conferences.
Mm-hmm.
She has just released the 2026 one. And if
Ooh.
you haven't got your retreat or whatever there, get in touch with Anna because she will add it up there. So I thought I would just briefly share why attend a writers' festival. Whether you call them literary festivals, readers' festivals, or writers' conferences, the best of them illuminate, motivate, inform, inspire, shift us, teach us, relax us, and fire us up. They're for readers and writers, thinkers, dreamers, and doers. It's where we are challenged and introduced to new genres, writers and writing, as well as relax into old favourites. And if you're an author, they're a place to see what's possible, support the book and publishing industry, and grow in the company of other creatives. So I think that is an excellent reason to attend a
Yes,
writers' festival, which is really good.
absolutely.
So have a look at Anna's website. There's lots of fabulous good things there. A
Mhm.
couple that she pointed out, and I really like this one. There is a thing called the Global Book Crawl. Had you heard of that one?
Hey, no, tell me more.
Dozens of cities, hundreds of bookshops, thousands of readers, one unforgettable week. So
Oh,
it's a worldwide celebration of independent bookshops and
hey.
those who love them. So readers, writers, and booksellers join forces for 1 week to create a tapestry of neighbourhood strolls and unforgettable encounters. Come for the books, stay for the magic. So there you go. Have a little read,
Yes.
and you can see each city or region curates its crawl. I
Mhm.
don't know if we've got any of our locals on there. It may just be overseas, but come on, Australia,
Come
get on with
on,
it.
Aussies.
Indie bookstores. Oh no, we have some great indie bookstores here,
Mm.
and that would be really good. So
Yeah.
pick your passport and start the journey. So that was a good one. But
Mm.
even more exciting,
Mm.
Book Fair Australia
Hey.
is going to be in Melbourne this year. So
Woohoo.
they had a year off, and
Hmm.
now they're going to be in Melbourne. So Laurie, I think we might need to be there. Might need to be
We need to
going.
be there.
21st of February, 10 o'clock till the 22nd of February, 4 p.m. So 2 days at the Melbourne Convention Exhibition Centre at
Woohoo.
the beautiful South Wharf. So it's a literary festival that celebrates stories of all genres and
Mhm.
be jam-packed. They welcome traditionally and independently published authors alike to
Hey.
share their things through stalls, discussion panels, workshops, and more. It is a thrilling weekend. I mean, come
Just,
on.
yeah. I think that's a
Fantastic.
good plan.
Yes. So the team at Book for Australia commit themselves to bringing the fun back into a timeless hobby through engaging with local authors, focusing on their love for books and connecting readers and writers. So, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
think
love it.
that's enough
That sounds
news
fun.
for our first episode because
For
you
sure.
have got a very appropriate author
I did
for us to be
have
chatting with.
another piece of news,
Oh,
which is what you're saying, what you're suggesting with our book spotlights. So should we start with the book spotlight?
we could start with the book
Let's do
spotlight. Let's do
it.
it.
Here is a little bit about book 4 of the Stones of Power series, The Serpent's Kiss, which is by Laurie Bell.
Woo!
Yes, my book 4
Yay!
is finally out. You can find it online. You can find it as ebooks, as print books online. Jump on, buy it if you've read the others. If you haven't read the first one. It's great. Anyway, let me tell.
Ask
let
your library to buy a copy because you're
Yes,
hanging to get
ask your
it.
library to get a copy, get the whole series. I do my best to send them out to my pen pal schools. But yes, book 4 is finally out. I am so excited. So let me tell you about the blurb. Tell him the truth, Tracy. Just don't tell him everything. 4 stones of power are secure, and Timothy is trapped inside the serpent's kiss. Despite all odds, including a heart-wrenching betrayal by a mentor, Tracy and her friends have succeeded once more. The only problem is that they're keeping the possession of the crow's heart a secret from the grown-ups. Oh, and Tracy is keeping her recent possession of the serpent's kiss from her friends. And Timothy won't stop talking to her from inside the serpent's kiss. And for some reason, Stephanie has gone completely silent inside the butterfly stone. Oh, and her crush won't respond to her texts. No longer sure of who she can trust, Tracy is forced to make riskier and more difficult decisions in her search for the final two stones of power. But an anonymous watcher and a creeping presence in her hometown are making their own moves, bringing the mystery to her own doorstep. As a dangerous hunter comes calling, Tracy takes matters into her own hands. But can she protect everyone and do what needs to be done while still keeping those hands clean?
Da, da,
Book
da, book
four.
4. Woohoo!
Yeah.
So exciting.
Very exciting.
It's
Yeah.
been, you've been waiting for this. I've been
I
waiting for
have.
this. All of your readers have been waiting for
Yes.
this.
I had to reread some bits because it's been a while since I wrote it, sent it off to the publisher. And it's funny, you work on the next one. And so I know how it ends because I've been writing book five and finished book five. So having to go back, it's like, hang on, what don't they know yet? Yeah, might have to
Uh,
keep quiet on a few things.
yes. No spoilers. No
That's
spoilers here,
exactly.
which is good. So,
Ah, so
let me tell you about Laurie's bio. In case you don't remember from the start of the episode, Laurie is the author of The Stones of Power, Wildflower, Blood Fever, and Boss from Hell. She's a lover of fantasy and science fiction of all kinds, and is often found in coffee shops or on trains, writing madly in one of many notebooks. Oh, and she loves chocolate and coffee, and as we know, also cats. Laurie maintains an active blog of science fiction, fantasy, and flash fiction pieces. And I mean, it's a very succinct bio. We could
it's
go
it's
on,
short and sharp. We could
that's
go on,
that's
but
just
I
hits
think
the main
everyone
points.
knows a bit about me at the moment.
All right, so that yeah, in case you missed it, The Serpent's Kiss, Stones of Power, book 4. Get out there, people, and buy it.
Yes,
All
I'm so
right,
excited.
book 2 is another of the fabulous subscribers and friends
Yes,
of
Naomi.
Australian Book Lovers. So this is Naomi Shippen. So Before She Killed Him by Naomi Shippen is a mystery thriller. It's a domestic suspense. A car crash in suburban Melbourne. One woman seriously injured, one man dead. But was it really an accident? Simone Henshaw is a reformed bad girl with a questionable past. Everyone knows the suburban soccer mum is a loose cannon. So when a suspicious car crash leaves her concussed and badly injured, and her hated next door neighbour dead, no one believes it's an accident. Simone had been feuding with Brad ever since she moved into the neighbourhood, accusing him of abuse and harassment to anyone who'd listen. But everyone knew that Brad was harmless deep down and Simone was overreacting. The police are waiting to question Simone, and as she lapses in and out of consciousness, she's tormented by nightmares and flashbacks. While Simone remembers the moment of impact, everything else about that night is a blur. As she starts to recover, Simone realises that things are not as simple as they seem, and that there is something that could exonerate her, but she can't remember what it is. If Simone wants to keep the family she loves and avoid a prison sentence, she must confront the truth that could destroy her and remember what really happened with her neighbour right before she killed him. All right.
Yeah,
Here's
tense.
Naomi's bio. She lives in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, works 9 to 5 by day, and writes crime stories by night. Naomi loves reading and writing mystery and suspense and is fascinated by stories that reveal the truth about the people we think we know the best. Yeah, so good on you, Naomi. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. So, our third book is The Finch Who Lost Her Wing by Annie Kwan, which is a picture book. The book has an incredibly powerful message of self-love, self-care, and self-worth. Starting from a young age, we must be kind to ourselves before we can be kind to others. Goldie the finch loses a wing and sets off on a journey to find it, believing that helping others might restore what she's lost. Along the way, she encounters three creatures in distress: an ibis with a net tightly wrapped around its beak, a wombat trapped in a dark log, and a cricket ensnared in a spider's web. Oh no! Each scenario symbolizes real struggles children may face: feeling silenced and discouraged from expressing themselves, being overwhelmed by problems that seem impossible to escape, or feeling bullied and caught in despair. The turning point comes when Goldie is gently guided towards the truth, that true healing comes from within. In a quiet, powerful moment of reflection, Goldie begins to show the same love and kindness to herself that she so freely gave to others. It is only then that her wing is restored, symbolizing the return of her confidence, strength, and sense of wholeness. Oh, that's so sweet.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Annie Kwan is a lawyer who runs a construction company with her husband. She's passionate about teaching kids and volunteers at her daughter's primary ethics program. Annie believes that being kind to others can only start when one is kind to themselves first. The Finch
Too
Who Lost
true.
Her Wing is her first children's book. She's working on more children's books and is also writing a novel. Annie lives in Clovelly, Sydney, with her girls, husband, and two cats. Two
There
cats,
you
you've got to have
go.
two.
You got to have two.
Got to
That's
have
it. They
two.
do like a friend, someone else to play with. All right. Book 4 is The Wildflower of Asam by Gayatri Sarkar. It's a historical novel. Through the eyes of the wildflower. Between the 1950s and early 1980s, Assam was a beautiful place surrounded by peaceful tea gardens and picturesque hills. Its tranquility was, however, disturbed by clashes between locals and outsiders. 13-year-old Shabana enters Assam with her family in search of a better life. It was not her decision to travel, but she had to accept all that it offered. In her journey, she witnesses greed, fraud, lust, betrayal, and motherhood. During her journey, she's intrigued by several questions. Why do people cross borders illegally? Are those decisions practical and purely emotional? How are men empowered to make decisions that impact the entire family? How can people live with a masked identity? Why do people snatch others' property? And why do people kill innocents? This historical saga portrays the journey of women from one country to another, from singlehood to married life, from abject poverty to comfort, and from tolerance to decisiveness. It reveals the true impact of social tension and domestic violence on their lives.
Strong.
Big story. That is a big
Mm.
story. So here's a Gayatri's bio. A computer engineer. They are based in Brisbane. Born and raised in Pune in Maharashtra, India, she has contributed short stories to several acclaimed anthologies, including Perfect Vision, Delete, Log Off, Shut Down, Corruption, and Soul's Sojourn. In addition to her anthology work, she's maintained a couple of blogs and written for a number of journals and magazines exploring themes of identity, social change, and personal resilience. She's also an Oxford alumna, holding a creative writing diploma from Oxford University with merit, which she received in 2023.
Fantastic. So, book 5, we are just piling on the
Good
books
along.
today. It is so good. More to See, A Journey Along the Cleveland Way by Vicki Foote, which is a memoir. Weeks after deciding to walk the 175-kilometre Cleveland Way in the UK, Adelaide-based Vicky's world turns upside down when she received a phone call nobody wants. She has breast cancer. She underwent weeks of surgery and chemotherapy, but still managed to embark on her trek just 6 weeks after finishing treatment. That's good work. What follows is a story of determination and love, the healing capacity of nature, the power of purpose, and the joy of eating delicious cheese. Somber moments are lightened through Australian humour and idioms, silly moments, and amusing encounters. Along with reflections of previous walks, Vicky and her partner Olaf have done around the world. It's when Vicky releases the self-imposed pressure and deep-held need to live a normal life that her eureka moment arrives and frees her to face the future. It's a story of strength, doubt, and the importance of having 3 components of happiness: having something to look forward to, having someone to love, and having something meaningful to do, especially in some of life's dark moments.
So good.
Yeah. So Adelaide-based writer Vicki Foote is a physical education teacher with qualifications in art history who has worked in education, political media, television captioning, and magazine publishing, and has a catalogue of lived experience. But when she was thrown into the unfamiliar world of medical jargon, tests, and scans following her breast cancer diagnosis, she set her mind to facing the life-altering challenges head-on, including embracing the magic of walking, if her body permitted. A relative latecomer to the joys of a long distance walk, Vicky has now ambled up and down, across and around some great walks of the world, including Spain's Camino de Santiago, Australia's Flinders Ranges, Cradle Mountain, and Great Ocean Road, the UK's Cleveland Way, and Abel Tasman Coastal Path and Queen Charlotte Track in New Zealand. Having lived in London, Darwin, and regional South Australia, Vicki calls Adelaide, South Australia home, where she lives with her partner, Olaf, and their Bernese mountain dog, Maya. Oh,
Lovely. There are some good walks. I haven't done all of those. I've done the Queen Charlotte track in New Zealand. That was amazing. Love the Great Ocean Road. Cradle Mountain
long
also.
walks. They are
Yeah,
long
gorgeous.
walks.
They are long walks. Yeah, well done.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
definitely.
if you want to read about Vicky's story, More to the Sea. Okay.
Mm,
Book 6 is The Tyranny of Tomorrow by Magda Mizzi. It's a dystopian sci-fi.
mm.
In a world falling apart, survival is just the beginning. In the heart of Sydney's western suburbs, a deadly virus erupts, triggering a wave of chaos, violence, and destruction. As the world descends into an apocalyptic nightmare, society crumbles and the government struggles to contain the outbreak. Madeline, a quiet and introspective teenager, never imagined she'd have to face such a brutal reality. But when the outbreak strikes, she's thrust into a world where survival becomes her only goal. By her side is Michael, the boy who captured her heart before everything changed. Together, they must navigate the horrors of a collapsing society, racing against time to protect their loved ones and escape into the mountains, where safety might be a distant dream. The virus spreads fast, the government's grip weakens, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Trust will be tested, relationships will fracture, and survival will demand everything they have. In this fight, there are no easy choices. So, will Madeline and Michael make it to the mountains alive, or will the deadly virus and the dangers of the new world tear them apart before they even get the chance to escape? The Tyranny of Tomorrow is a heart pounding, post apocalyptic romance that dives deep into the emotional and physical challenges of survival. A coming of age story wrapped in a fierce, high stakes adventure. This gripping first instalment will keep you on the edge of your seat until the very last page. That is a mouthful of a
Mm,
story, Magda.
yeah.
Well done. All right,
Mm.
let's hear a little bit about Magda. They spin a tale of shattered worlds and fierce survivors. A lifelong fan of post-apocalyptic fiction, she sets her stories in the haunting beauty of Western Sydney's riverbanks and the rugged Blue Mountains, landscapes she grew up exploring. When she's not teaching English or encouraging young writers, she's crafting her next dystopian twist or binging The Last of Us. Oh, yeah, that's a good series. I'll give you that one, Magda. She lives with her husband, kids, and two dogs who'd probably sleep through the apocalypse. There you
So
go.
would my cats. And book 7, Grayson's Magical Mishaps by Kevin Klur. And we did just get to speak to him in our wonderful Christmas special, which was amazing. And we forgot to actually chat about that. How good were all of those amazing people that
Yes.
sent in their their Christmas
Yes.
message
The Christmas,
videos?
yes. Hope
Our
everybody
Aussie
enjoyed it.
authors.
It took me so long to edit. But anyway, they were worth it. Will I ask them to
So
do it again
worth
next year?
it.
So worth
Yeah.
it because people were so excited to share their book and wish everybody a happy
Oh,
festive
it
season.
was absolutely
So it was
marvelous.
lovely. Yeah.
Everyone was fantastic. So
Yeah.
let me
Some
tell
very
you
creative.
about Grayson's magical mishaps. So Grayson sneezed. This in itself is not unusual, but it's what happened next which freaked him out. A small pink elephant appeared. Enter Penelope, a glamorous cottage witch with a drinking problem. She's been sent to help Grayson master his new wizard powers. She's also here to fix his sneezy magical mishaps. I am so reading this book.
This is hilarious, isn't it?
Grayson has also fallen in love. His new boyfriend, Milo, is the best friend of bitchy social influencer Summer. She doesn't approve of their relationship and has video proof of one of Grayson's mystical screw ups. With the threat
Mm,
of being exposed, Grayson soon learns he'll need more than magic to keep him out of trouble. That sounds so good. Pink
yeah.
elephants. So, as we know, Kevin lives with his husband Warren in their humble apartment, affectionately named Sabrina, in Australia's own Emerald City, Sydney. His tall tales explore unrequited love in the theatre district of the afterlife, romance between a dreamer and a realist, a man escaping an abusive relationship on board an enchanted ocean liner, and a dystopian city addicted to social media. His urban fantasy novel, The Midnight Man, scored the first place in the LGBT category of the Paranormal Romance Guild's Reviewers' Choice Award and won the fantasy category of the 2021 Gay Scribe Awards. He was also runner-up. It was also runner-up in the Rainbow Awards, while Winter Masquerade received an honorable mention. His first novel, Drama Queens with Love Scenes, love it, spawned a secondary character named Guy, and many readers argue that Guy, the insecure gay angel, is the star of the Actors and Angels book series. I think so. Kevin had to suddenly include him in the sequel. So, with his fictional guardian angel guiding him, Kevin hopes to bring more whimsical tales of love, life, and friendship to his readers.
Which is beautiful, and he
Kevin's so
does.
true. Yes, he does.
So many fabulous books there.
Absolutely.
So if you've read all your Christmas books, get to the shop, have a bit of a look. We have got so
there's
many
some
books
new
on the
ones
website.
that are out that really should be read.
Yes, and I just discovered that the Book of Dust, like book 4, was out, and I think I missed book 3 when it came out. So now the 4th one's out. I've got a couple of catching up.
You've got a bit of catching up to do.
I put out of my mind because I thought, oh, he hasn't even written the 3rd one yet, so that'll be forever. But it must have been ages, and of course.
And I've got a few books that I have scored over Christmas that I now need to find time to read.
Yes.
While editing book 2 of my Wildflower series.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yeah, we'll just look at those.
Get it done.
Yeah, those writing habits that Kate Allan has told us we need to get into, and we will begin. Because the new year is a great new year, new starts, Mondays. Good idea.
Yep, get into those new habits, the new promises we make ourselves that we're sure we're going to uphold.
We will help you with your reading and your writing. So just keep listening to us, and that's good. And if you've got a book and you want us to share it with the Book Spotlight, jump onto the website, go to the 4 authors page, load up all the details. This is all free. Yes, we're mad, but please feel free to put it there. And if you're a reader and you would like to have a look at the books, there's so many incredible books, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And if anybody fancies supporting us with a little funding, because we do post out free giveaway books to all of our readers and help pay for the podcast, that would be fantastic. Please do subscribe. Follow us on YouTube, on Buzzsprout, on Threads and Blue Sky and Instagram and Twitter.
We're everywhere.
We are everywhere. That's it. All right. I think you've got a fabulous interview for us to jump into.
Oh my goodness, this was so much fun, and the coincidence of talking with January Gilchrist when we're in January is just—it's too golden to pass up, really, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes.
So let's just jump straight in to my chat with January Gilchrist. Book lovers, I am absolutely delighted to have with me January Gilchrist, author of The Final Chapter and My Sister's Shadow. Welcome to the podcast, January.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful to have you here. You're coming to us from a very warm, in comparison to Melbourne right now, up in Queensland, is that right?
Very hot. We have had storms kind of non-stop last week, hailstones, incredible wind, but today it is 40 degrees by 6 o'clock. So hot. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I've had thunder this morning, so if anyone does hear a little rumble in the background, that is what's happening in Melbourne right now. So I am coming to you today from Wurundjeri Wurrung country. Where are you coming to us from?
The Jagera and Turrbal country.
Wonderful, up there in Queensland. Okay, so January, I'm really excited to talk about your mysteries. I love a good mystery, and particularly a little bit of a thriller mystery. So let me tell our lovely watchers and listeners all about yourself. So, January Gilchrist holds a Bachelor of Creative Arts, majoring in Literature and Performing Arts, and was longlisted for the 2019 Ritual Prize. Her debut contemporary mystery, The Final Chapter, is inspired by her time at the Varuna Writers' House, which I'm looking forward to chatting about. Balancing her time between writing, running a Pilates studio, and raising two sons, January draws on her varied life experiences to create authentic, nuanced characters. Fascinated by puzzles, especially the mysteries of human behavior, indeed, January explores the stories we tell, the secrets we keep, and the truths we hide, even from ourselves. So there's a little bit going on in there with your background. Why mysteries? Why?
I think probably like every writer, I am so curious about people. I really and that line, the secrets we keep even from ourselves. How many times have you heard someone tell a story and you're thinking, are you joking? You know
Yes.
exactly why that happened. Oh, I've got no idea how that happened. You're thinking, I can absolutely tell you why that happened.
Yeah.
And I'm so curious about that. Are you lying to yourself? Have you created this reality? What are the motivations behind these things? As a Pilates instructor, I'm like a hairdresser. What the things that I hear, girl, it would turn your hair
Really?
Yes, I think the first person to find out that you've murdered somebody would probably be your Pilates instructor.
Wow. So people chat while they're stretching.
Oh, yeah. And I just think because it feels like a really safe, predominantly female space. There's a lot of opening up and a lot of sharing. And yeah, so I just am really intrigued by people.
Oh, I love that. I love
So
that.
that
Well,
that mystery, right? Why did you
yeah.
do that? How did you think you were getting away with it?
Yeah. How did you not see it coming?
How did you not see that coming?
I'm a bit like that with the admin. I'm in an admin role, so I just hear everyone's dirty little secrets.
Right? Aren't they so? I mean, my favorite thing in the whole world, I'm such like a lifelong eavesdropper. If I'm at a cafe by myself and
Listening in.
yes, and somebody is telling somebody else the tea,
Yeah.
that AirPod is
Yeah.
out of my ear. I am like, and they did that. They
Mhm.
right, okay, fine.
I get that on the train. Someone's chatting on the phone really loudly, and you're like, wow.
So I'm glad you get it because sometimes I think, does
Definitely.
this make me sound crazy? You get it.
Definitely.
It's so
Yeah, for sure.
interesting.
I love a good listening.
Yeah,
So speaking of, with the final chapter, let me tell everyone about the blurb for the final chapter so we can get into
please
the
do.
nitty-gritty. So the final chapter, an opportunity a writer would die for. Desley Barron is ready to prove her doubters and herself wrong about her flagging writing career. She's won a spot at an exclusive writing retreat in the Blue Mountains. Only instead of feeling creative, Desley finds her insecurity increases while the ghost stories about the house have her jumping at shadows. This reclusive house is the last place anyone would think to look for high-profile author Colette Halifax, which is perfect as she hides from a looming scandal. Unfortunately, someone here is threatening to ruin one part of her life that isn't already in shambles. Meanwhile, Maya Mackenzie has plans that don't involve writing at all. She's schemed to ensure the one person she wants to see is here, the man who almost killed her mother. All have a secret. All will do anything to keep it hidden. And they're not alone. The retreat is perched on the edge of a forest steeped in the horrors of Australia's worst serial killer, and no one knows just who is watching. When a storm unleashes its fury and they're trapped, a body is left in the snow, and any one of them could be next.
Dun, dun,
Ooh,
dun.
speaking of secrets that people keep and
Yes.
hide from each other,
Mm.
where did this plot come about?
It came about at Varuna. So anybody who doesn't know what Varuna is, it is I think it's called their tag is the National Writers' House. So it is a house really does. It's the last house on the end of the street. It's a dead-end road. It backs onto the forest. It is very, very much the setting for this book. Yes. And you can apply. It is merit-based. So you apply, and it's very, challenging to be accepted. So there's a lot of kudos that goes with it. And I was lucky enough to score a spot there. And I got there, and I was kind of struggling a bit with the book that I was writing, which was My Sister's Shadow, which is quite a dark book in terms of the themes and content. And then I was in this kind of isolated house, and it's such a rich setting. And I know I've made it sound really bad, but I always like to just say nobody wants to read about a writer's retreat that goes well. So
fair point.
Right?
Yep, fair point.
So people often ask, oh, is this what Varuna's like? No, the setting is definitely based on Varuna, but it was a fabulous time, a really, just a creative space where all you've got to do is let that imagination go wild. But the very first thing they do when you get to Varuna is tell you about the ghost of Eleanor Dark, who donated the house. And she apparently, I won't say lives on, but carries on through the house. So you're in this isolated setting. You're away from home. You're kind of, well, who are these other people? I've never met them. I hope they're normal. What's that noise? And oh, by the way, the house is haunted.
It is prime set for storytelling.
So all you have to do all day, I was there for a week, all you have to do all day is just like think of stories. So that's where this definitely inspired.
So tell us a little bit about a writer's retreat. So you were there for a week.
Yes.
What does the day to day look like?
Well, they vary, but at Varuna, they provide you with the food that you're going to eat. That's very unstructured. During the day, you're really kind of just in your room. They have a no telephone, no phones in the rooms rule, because you are expected to sit in your room and write quietly, no distractions. And then in the evening, you get together, you share work, and they provide you with the most incredible food. So that part is also true, that they do give you dinner.
Nice.
And so you're kind of free to do whatever you like in the afternoon, but you are expected to so there's no chores, there's no phones, there's no distractions. It really is just, it's wonderful. It is a really wonderful opportunity to just be creative. Yeah.
What if you have that day where you think, there's nothing, nothing's coming down on paper?
That was me one day. A couple of days actually, because one thing that I wasn't prepared for is all of those things that I've made sound really wonderful actually carry a bit of pressure. So you get there and there's nothing else to do. So if you are not writing, what are you doing? You are stressing about the fact that you're not writing. And if you come downstairs for the evening and you're sharing work and someone says, oh gosh, I've just had the best day, I've done 10,000 words, and you go, oh God, I was actually really struggling with the scene and I couldn't get momentum, so then that self-doubt, which I really leaned into with Desley's character. And one day, this is actually quite funny. So I think about maybe on the Thursday, I was like, oh boy, I got to get out of this house, because also I have made it sound great. But imagine if I said to you, you're going to spend, and my kids were really young and I have my own business. So I was used to being very, very busy, very like snatching writing time, running from here to there. And then so to just be like, you're sitting down in this one room and you are writing. It was a lot.
Yeah.
So one day I escaped. I packed, I put on all my clothes because, like Desley, I had not packed enough. Didn't really realize when I say 40 degrees by 6:30. I bought a jumper. I bought a pair of socks. I had to buy a pair of gloves because the Blue Mountains is cold. Yeah. So this one day I put all my clothes on and I went for a walk. And this house really is the bottom of the street, and I kind of cut through the garden, And then all of a sudden, I hear this car kind of coming up from behind me as I was going up the road. And I'm thinking, oh my God, the only place that's there is Varuna.
Yeah.
Are we not allowed to leave? Is somebody coming to like bring
Hunt
me
you
back?
down.
Yes. I was really nervous, and I did
Wow.
weirdly have this moment like, oh my God, they're coming to bring me back. And this car pulled up but slowed down, and I kept walking faster,
Oh.
faster, faster. This
Oh,
car,
hard to be going mile a minute.
yes, oh my God, it is like a cult. They're not letting me leave. And this car pulls up beside me, and the driver, leans over and opens the passenger door. And I can't see who's in the car. And I'm like, oh my God, do I run? Like, okay, this has gotten weird. And it was one of the other writers who had seen me leaving, and she was like, let's go. So we got in the car, and she'd obviously been feeling the same way, and we went for a drive, and she drove me to this really incredible walk, and we ended up walking for most of the day, clearing the cobwebs. And then we got back, and I said to her, oh my God, I thought for a moment you were coming to kidnap me.
Hopefully that spurred both of you on to a bit of intense writing afterwards.
Yeah. And then we got to talk about, I told her where I was stuck, and it's so helpful to talk to other writers about what's going on.
Yep.
So came home and ended up doing a lot of writing.
Oh, that's fantastic. So it really worked.
But that scene, that feeling of like, am I not allowed to leave? That was one of the real jumping points for creating the ambiance of the final chapter.
Yeah.
What if you weren't allowed to leave? Like, what if those feelings I were having that were a bit crazy? What if that was what was happening?
And then you find a body.
And then you find a body and you can't leave because it started snowing.
Oh, wow. I love a good locked room mystery. So you were able to get into the mindset with the ambience that was around you, but how did you go about sort of plotting down the final chapter? Are you a pantser? Are you a plotter? Did you plan everything out in nitty-gritty detail before you started?
I am a pantser. And I think I really know where I'm starting. So the characters really came quite fully formed. And then I know how the book's going to start. That opening scene of Desley. So that driveway is that whole scene. Really did happen. The driveway is this beautifully overgrown, wild, windy, and potholes, and you walk up it. And I did think, am I in the wrong place? There's no sign. You think, okay, the taxi driver's left you. You think, okay, am I going to knock on someone's door and they'll just let me stay with them for a week? So I had that scene, and then I had the murder. And the publisher actually asked me to change the murderer before they purchased the manuscript. So I did have the book went a slightly different way.
Okay.
So I had the start and the murder, and then when those characters came to me, and they came to me from a lot of the conversations that I'd had with the other writers every night. They are archetypes of the type of people you find in the writing community. Celebrity writer, special. And of course they're made, worse.
Being in a tiny place, for sure.
Yeah. The celebrity writer who gets the huge advance in the New York Times bestselling list, and it kind of like, do you even write? No, but you can sell a book. That kind of feeling. And then Maya is that typical. There is also a type of writer who we all love to hate just through jealousy, not through anything other. Like, let's be honest, it's envy. Their debut sold for big dollars, sold really well, and they're kind of that Elle Woods type, like it's hard. And that permeates through their experience of the industry. And then 98% of us are Desley.
The struggling writer. Yep, I hear you.
99.5% of us are Desley.
you mentioned just then that you were asked to change the murder. How did that feel? How was that experience? It's quite a big plot point, I would
Yeah,
imagine.
it is. And I have been asked a lot of times, particularly by other writers, like, oh, did you kill your
How'd you react?
darlings? I wanted to sell the book. I wanted to sell the
Mm-hmm.
manuscript. So I said yes.
Mm-hmm.
The publisher, I can't tell you too much about it because then it has a lot of spoilers, but the
Yep, yep.
publisher told me her reasons,
Okay.
and I really liked where what her reasoning was.
Yep.
And then when I tell that story and people at events and people who have read, so I do say, if you've read and you want to know who the original murderer was, please do message me.
Mm-hmm.
And then when people message me and I tell them, quite often they go, oh yeah, I like that.
Interesting.
Yes.
But it's good that she explained the reasoning behind the change.
Yes, and it was really plot driven.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was happy to do that. Yeah, because you
Interesting.
have to edit anyway.
Isn't editing just the toughest process? So you wrote the story, it got
Mhm.
picked up.
I'm a
Awesome.
slush pile baby. Yeah.
Wow, I love
I
hearing those
know. I know
stories.
everyone loves these. I love hearing them
Yep.
too. It happens.
Because it gives you that little bit of hope. It's like, it's possible.
It's
It can be
possible.
done.
Yes, yes. I do actually read those manuscripts.
Mhm. So then how did the next stage go for you? Because you are one of the lucky ones. You've actually it's a big publisher. We're not talking
Yes.
indie, we're not talking
Yeah.
self-publishing. It was
Yeah.
a big, but how did that go for you from being picked up to
Mhm.
the edit process to then the book coming out?
Well, interestingly, like the people say, like buses, it all comes along at once. I'd
Mm-hmm.
been struggling to find an agent. I had both My Sister's Shadow and the final chapter were complete,
Okay.
and I had been trying to find an agent to no success, which now I
It's
realize
a tough experience.
it's tough. But
Yeah.
also, what I've discovered, and for anybody listening who is an aspiring writer,
Mm.
I know now I did not understand the querying process.
Mhm.
I thought it mattered how good my manuscripts were, and that to even get the agent to look at your manuscript, you need to be really good at pitching or
Polished.
submitting.
Yeah.
And that I have subsequently gone and done a course with the ASA about pitching.
Mhm.
So I've learned a lot. So I think that held me back. But
Mhm.
both My Sister's Shadow and the final chapter were slush piles. So there is
Wow.
publishers in America who do take non-represented manuscripts.
Mhm.
And I got emails within weeks of each other, actually. So
Wow.
yeah. And the good thing about the American one is it comes through in the morning
Mhm.
because of
Yep.
the time difference. So I woke up and I checked my email and I'd forgotten. I had submitted to so many, like I've got a spreadsheet. There's hundreds
Mhm.
of red
Mhm.
lines as I cross them out. And I'd just forgotten. And then
Mhm.
all of a sudden I opened my email and it was like, we'd like to, and the Americans move they're quite direct. There's no Zoom. In my
Mhm.
case with the slush pile, it was just like, we'd like to purchase this manuscript.
Wow.
Here's our offer. So that was exciting. And I was like, oh, cloud nine.
Wow.
And then with HarperCollins,
Mhm.
I was working and got an email that said, would you like to Zoom? And I thought, well, you're not going
Sure.
to.
No, I'm not interested. Thanks.
Actually quite busy.
Wow.
But because I'd had so many rejections, maybe a little bit like Desley, I thought, oh, is it different in Australia? Do they Zoom to reject you?
Wow, that'd be a tough call, wouldn't it?
Sitting in front of, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But I guess, and I don't know how other people's slush piles went, but I think because she had some edits to give me, she was keen to say, would you be interested in changing the end? And yeah, so
Wow.
getting a sense of, I guess, how I work as an author, because if they offered and then my response was like, no, I'm really passionate about my art, then they're kind of stuck. So yeah, that's how that went.
Wow, amazing. And then all the edit letters start coming through.
And then there's a long time. And I think that was surprising for me too, is that 18 months later, your book's on the shelf.
Wow.
So nothing happens for about 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Nothing. And I found myself thinking, is this even happening?
Yep.
Like, did they forget about me?
Yeah,
When
yeah.
do I hear? And then, like buses, everything comes at once.
Mm-hmm.
You get your edits, and the edit turnaround tends to be really fast.
Oh,
So
wow.
you are like, here, can you get these back to us in 2 weeks? And you're like, oh,
Goodness.
hey, yeah. So it's such a strange industry. You go from submitting, hearing nothing forever,
Yep.
and then getting your offer, and then hearing nothing forever, and then edit, and then yes, publication.
Wow. And
Mm.
so you work with the Pilates studio and how
Yes.
did that go with you've got 2 weeks? That's intense.
It is intense, yeah. And I guess you just have to be really a lot of late nights, because also I'm a single mum. So when I have the kids,
Oh my
it's
goodness.
just me. So, and they were quite young. They're a little bit more independent now. But yeah, at the time it was really like, okay, I guess I'm just staying up late and getting it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Taking a step back, why write? When did you first admit that you were a writer, that you needed to do this?
So I was doing my degree, and I have just always been a voracious reader. Love. And it has, I grew up in New Zealand on a dairy farm.
Oh, wow.
So didn't meet many people working in creative industries, as you can imagine, but that's probably why I'm such a reader, is that,
A lot of alone time.
a lot of alone time, escaping to like other worlds and exploring without leaving the farm. So I've always been a voracious reader, but in my mind, it was not that wasn't for something, it's for other people who maybe lived in different places. So it had never occurred to me that I could be an author, but I always wrote. When I was younger, I always had a short story. I left New Zealand quite young, and I went traveling around the world, and I always kept a travel journal and dreamed of writing it was before the time of blogs, but Lonely Planet, the books, if everybody's
Oh,
enough
yes.
to remember. Yeah, or there was the Time Out magazine. I always dreamed of writing. And so one of my classes at uni was creative writing, and my incredible professor, who is just so amazing, Dr. Laura Alvery, who is also an author,
Lovely.
she set the assignment, and then when she got my assignment, she said, oh, so you're a writer?
Oh,
Like,
wow.
no, not at all.
There's some nice feedback.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
especially because she's so incredible. I don't know why it matters that strangers give you a compliment. If your friend tells you your dress is nice, you say, oh,
Sure.
and I didn't, it was expensive, I didn't want to. And a stranger in the street gives you a compliment, you feel amazing. So Laura said, so you're a writer? And I said, no. And then she said, okay, well, if you were going to be a writer, what would you write about? And then, I had 10 ideas. I said, oh, well, I think I could write about this, or I could write about this, or I could write about this. And she's, okay, you're a writer.
You're a writer.
So she changed my life. She said, instead of doing the assignments that are set, I want you to start writing. Choose one of those ideas and start writing it.
Oh,
so
wow.
that became my assignment, was working on the story, which then was what I entered into the ritual, which long listed.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. So that long listing, again, that compliment from the stranger, I 100% would have not explored writing. I want to say professionally. If it's professional, I don't know. What's a professional writer? I would have just kept it for myself, I think, as a little hobby that I did if I hadn't long listed for that prize. Yeah, that really meant a lot to me.
Wow, that's amazing. So the final chapter is set in the Blue Mountains. So is there anything else specifically Australian about your book?
I think the people.
Yeah.
Are
all the writers at the retreat all Australian?
Yes, they are. One of the characters in particular, Colette, is living at the time of writing. There were 2 quite large stories in the media about 2 very famous men whose wives were both being stalked, I guess, by paparazzi, by the media,
Mhm.
because of the men's decisions. And I
Mhm.
was kind of, that really informed her character to me, because I was like, these women have actually done nothing wrong. These women are the victims in the story.
Yeah.
They've been humiliated, not just within their personal life, but then unfortunately, because their husbands are in the public eye, they're now being
Copped it.
humiliated publicly. So their stories, or her story, are the amalgamation of two very Australian. And I think when people read it, they're instantly like, we know who these men are.
Yeah.
We know.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that I think has also permeated just what was kind of in the zeitgeist at the moment of time.
With your American publisher, did you get the feel that they weren't catching on to some of the Australianisms in your story, or
Yes,
parts of personality?
so the American publisher did not take the final chapter. So they bought, so they bought
took
My
My
Sister's
Sister's
Shadow,
Shadow.
but they didn't take the final chapter. And that feedback was based around how Americans like to read.
Wow.
So they tend to be a little hesitant about places that are unknown to them, and it was maybe too Australian for them. Yeah.
Interesting.
So they asked if I would change it, and that was a
was your
hard no
deal
for
breaker.
me. And I think probably because I did have HarperCollins interested as well.
Yeah.
I just felt part of that setting. It felt really important that it was the Blue Mountains, because the Blue Mountains, to me, having spent that week there and walking around, I feel like it's actually it has a lot of atmosphere. It feels very spiritual. It feels really ancient, if that's, maybe that sounds a little too woo-woo, but it really, you feel close to the
Like it's a
indigenous culture.
character in its
Yes. Yes. And I was also asked, one of the things that I was asked was to change the ethnicity of one of the characters in the final chapter.
Okay.
I think just because it's quite tricky writing from a point of view and the only first person character is Maya, and she was originally had some ethnic background that the publisher was uncomfortable me writing first person, which is, but that came to me because I did really feel that the Blue Mountains feels really old Australia. Yeah. And it is really, even the colonized parts are really Art Deco. They're really still very old and untouched, so it felt kind of like stepping back in time there.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't think that I could do the story justice by making it some random town in America.
Yep. Yeah, I can understand that. With your writing, why mystery? Was there ever something in your head? Oh, might go down that historical fantasy line, or just a different type of genre. So why did you connect so much with that thriller, gothic, mystery kind of feel?
Well, Gothic is my jam. That is like, I can't help that. That, I don't know, that is just my love. Like, whenever that's kind of the stuff that I consume, I really love the dark. And I've always really loved history. And I do think maybe coming from growing up in a country, there was just farmland around. So reading these books. So growing up, it was Nancy Drew, it was Trixie Belden, it was
I did all those.
Yes. And Christopher Pike. I don't know if you remember.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we would get the Scholastic book
Yep.
brochure. And every time I was like, oh my gosh, I hope Christopher Pike has a new one. And I think we'd describe that as horror now. There's really kind of been this resurgence of the phrase horror in terms of literary. I loved that stuff, like scary movies, scary books. When I was living in the UK, I always did those ghost tours or the cemetery tours. I just love that stuff. So yeah, I'm not when I tell people I'm a writer and they say, oh, do you write romance? Because I'm a Pilates instructor, I'm very happy, I'm very outgoing. They, oh, you write romance. And I'm like, no, I'm more killing than kissing. I love that kind of, it comes back to that puzzle, but also that sense of darkness. That's what I like.
Yeah. With your feedback, have you had any people that know you quite well think, whoa, I wasn't expecting that from you?
No, I think people who know me well probably are expecting that. I think people who know me are like, yeah, you've murdered someone.
Well, with My Sister's Shadow, and I might read the blurb of that one just
Yes.
in a moment, but with that one, so we're talking the 1600s there. What kind of
1800s.
well, 1800s, sorry. What kind of research do you do for your stories?
Lots of research on that. That comes back to also my own interests.
Mm-hmm.
So I have, like I said, when I lived in the UK, I think because I grew up in quite a young country, I just love the history of things. So I was always doing those creepy tours and at the museums. So that is my kind of general interest anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But the research is quite hard to write a historical because, you know, even the phrase "her heels tapped as she walks down the hall," you go, well, hold on.
Did they?
What did they?
Mm.
What sound do heels make in 1870? What were they made out of?
Yeah.
What would they have had on the floor? So you can't even, you have to get really good. At first I would research and then go back and rewrite that line. And then I did a course with the HNSA, the Historical Novels Association.
Oh, okay.
One of the suggestions, I think it was Judy Nunn, gave was that you just leave, you put a placeholder and then you go back and do all of your research. Those days when you're feeling a bit stuck, do your research.
That's clever.
instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's even like, yeah, where could they have put that? You can't say about your pockets. Do dresses have pockets? How did they turn the lights on? It's everything.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a little bit more challenging.
So I'll just let all of our listeners and watchers know a little bit about My Sister's Shadow. A mirror will never show you the truth. England, 1904. Mirror twins Adelaide and Victoria have spent their lives in orbit of each other, doomed to be in each other's shadow. The lives are intertwined and inextricable as each other's identical inverse. Adelaide is dutiful and reserved, happy to remain in her childhood home, Harewood Hall, forever. Victoria wishes for a thrilling life, exploring the world and finding a great romance, but the twins cannot live apart. Visiting Lord Stanley bewitches Victoria with his talk of luxury in New York, but it is obedient Adelaide whom he marries against her will and to Victoria's fury. Together they all move to New York and begin a new life. Adelaide finds herself trapped in a gilded cage on Fifth Avenue with no one but her angry and tempestuous twin for company. Amid the glamour of the upper class, Adelaide is captivated by the independent and educated women of the elite social circle Mrs. Astor's 400. As Adelaide's star rises, tensions begin to surface between the sisters. And as Adelaide grows apart from her twin for the very first time, Victoria descends into a rage-fueled darkness that threatens everything and anyone standing in her way. Oof. That sounds absolutely amazing. So, mirror. I love this idea of the mirror twins. So that inverse. Why? How did that come to you?
So I come from a family full of twins. My mum is a twin, and her brother and sister are twins. Yeah, and my grandmother's sisters are twins. So heaps and heaps of twins. And there has been a few kind of things over the years growing up where the twins seem to know things about each other that other people didn't. And I saw a documentary on ABC. There had been Australia-wide research into twins, identical twins. And this man told the most incredible story that if he hadn't been part of medical research, I would have thought he was lying.
Oh, wow.
Now, what came up in this research was this thing called mirror twins tend to be more connected. So you are literally, your organs are on the other side.
Oh.
So you are left-handed while your twin is right-handed. You have a mole on this side and they have it. It's really quite incredible.
Amazing.
And this man said that he had been having flickering vision in his left eye, and he had gone to the optometrist, gone and had a scan. He was all okay. He fainted at work, pounding headaches. They really thought he had a brain tumor. CAT scan, they couldn't find anything wrong. This went on for months. And then one morning he woke up in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he had what he calls a vision of his twin leaning over him, waking him up in bed saying, "It's me."
Oh.
And he sat up in bed and he said to his wife, "Oh, it's not me, it's him." And he called his twin. His twin had no, I mean, this gives me goosebumps. It was such an incredible story. He called his twin 3 o'clock in the morning and said, "You have to go and get checked. You have a brain tumor."
Oh, wow.
So the twin, imagine going to the doctor and saying, "Look, I'm coming to get
My brother says.
My brother's had an episode at 3 a.m. And sure enough, he went and had a scan and he had a brain tumor.
Wow.
And he had zero symptoms. His twin was having the symptoms. Isn't that? And then there was women.
That's a bit eerie,
yeah,
as you say.
Yeah. There were women who had labor pains while their twin labored.
Wow.
Like, really? So I watched this documentary just in a way feeling, skeptical. How can that be true? But these people are being studied by scientists who are saying, yeah, that happened.
Yeah, we can't explain it.
Yeah. So then I thought, well, being a writer, what if that works for the personality too? What if you're a good person and the other one is really not?
The evil twin.
Yeah. And the evil twin is such a beautiful Gothic trope. Like that is just because it's so juicy, right? Yeah. So that's how that came about.
Wow. But also with the personality differences too, that there would be that envy, the aggression, the why me, not you, why you, not me.
Yes.
Interplay. So when you were plotting out the story, did you write each story in your mind separately?
No, very much together. Yes. And I did go onto this Facebook group, which was called Identical Twins Are Us. And I just asked if people would share their stories with me, because I wanted to give the women authenticity. I didn't just want it to be those trope driven, like you said, there's it's these two stories. And what I found was twins are obsessed with each other. And they are either obsessed with loving each other, or one of the people that responded to me had tried to kill her twin.
Oh my goodness.
She had run her over with the car.
Wow.
Yeah, and hated her so much that, and a lot of them said that they didn't touch each other very much, or when they did, it was like touching yourself. They have absolutely no feeling when it comes. They can't really tell where the twin begins and they end. Yeah, so that was really incredible too. So then that gave me this juicy sort of, what if you did kind of think you were the same person, but your personalities were so different that it becomes, you almost hate yourself. I know, so
it brings in such great Gothic moments there, I can imagine. Wow.
Yeah. And then also the oppression of women during that time was also a great vehicle of, Victoria wanted this thing and Adelaide didn't, but Adelaide had to accept it because women were really choiceless. So that's also a great vehicle.
What's some of the best feedback that you've had from your fans?
Desley has touched so many people's life from the final chapter. Yes, I have been so heartened by the response to her, and it has made me feel really good, I think, because we are Desley. Desley is us. And I think obviously I've amplified Desley's feelings, but it made me feel really, some of the messages I've had from people, it's just, you don't write a book like, it's a mystery. It's an easy read. I'm not trying to change the world, but to get messages from people who said, so we had a message from somebody who said, we don't know each other, but I posted something on Instagram today and then I deleted it because I thought, oh my God, you sound like Desley. And I was like,
wow.
Yay, yeah. Hey, and she was like, I just want to let you know. And somebody else wrote and said, I cried reading Desley's parts because I realized that's how I speak to myself. that's how I treat myself.
Mhm.
And seeing it laid out on the page, I realized you've got to stop doing that.
Yeah.
So that was really amazing for me, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you have any of those thoughts while you were writing, when you were coming together with, okay, I'm writing this story? Because you do, as a writer, you swing so dramatically from
Oh,
this is
boy.
great to this is the worst thing I've written.
It's like being mentally ill. I can't, it's like,
Dramatic.
no, so you write something and you're like, oh, this is the best thing I've ever written. And you're like loving yourself. That was such a clever line. And then you go back and reread it the next day and you're like, I
What
am
was I
so
thinking?
stupid. Nobody's ever going to publish this. Again, I am Desley. Desley is me.
Yep, I think we're all Desley.
And I was like, really with Desley, I just wanted to explore what happens if there's no one to stop you spiraling? You know, those dark thoughts. What if you just keep spiraling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because it is hard, particularly when you're writing for the slush pile, you are writing for yourself. You don't know if you're ever going to get it published.
Yep.
So it is a little bit like, what's the point of this? You know, I call it screaming into the void. What am I doing?
Well, that leads into a really good question then. So advice for writers that are out there that are in the Desley, that they're in the spiral. What advice would you give them?
So I just went to the Brisbane Writers Festival and I can't remember who said this. I should have written it down. Somebody asked her to give advice to inspiring authors. And she said, oh, I just read this most amazing quote ever. And I don't know who, I'm going to Google it because this is terrible to do a quote and not know who wrote it. If somebody tells you they want to write a novel, the second best thing you can do for them is give them the elements of style. The first best thing you can do is shoot them in the face immediately. And that made
I
me
understand that.
so the writers laughed hilariously. The non-writers were like, why?
Why would you say that? That's so mean.
That made me feel so good because I think the struggle is real. And I love hearing published authors, successful authors, literary authors, genre authors. I love hearing other authors acknowledge it is not easy. And there are days where you think, this is the worst thing I've ever written. What is wrong with me? So I think never believing your hype either way. So you've written
I
a
like
good
that.
line.
I like that.
You don't get on yourself, you know, ooh, here I go. I also think that just keeps you grounded too. You know, you get your slush pile. Oh, I'm going to be, you know, and then you've still got to keep writing that next manuscript.
As you say, 18 months of, at least 6 months of nothing.
Yes.
Talk about spiral.
Yes. And you have to be really grounded in yourself. I'm going to keep stepping forward, regardless of the noise around you, because somebody you know who you love might just get a really great big deal. And then you start spiraling like Desley because you've been rejected 100 times. So, yeah.
And then you wake up and there's another rejection and you think, why am I doing this?
Yes, and when you hear a Maya story where a debut just gets a huge offer and the guy, the bookstagram guy or the Instagram guy
My
haven't
God,
even written a book.
Yeah. Talk about spiraling.
Talk about and I know that's quite layered. That's that celebrity author of Colette, you know, that's that Maya author of your debuts just already gotten you the huge deal. You haven't even finished the damn manuscript. And then you're writing in a predominantly female genre and you're a man. So I know that's quite layered, but that was triggering for a lot of us.
Yeah.
A lot of us,
Yeah, I definitely remember reading that and seeing the feedback around it and the response of other writers and my own response and just seeing what happened then online. And it was very much of course you did.
Of course you did. Yeah, and you've just woken up to another rejection.
Yep.
Yes. So yeah, that would probably be my own advice. And I'll tell you, I have started taking it. So I have not read a single online review that has not been sent to me by my publishers. I have not read a single online review about either books.
Yep.
Block out the outside noise. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because as you say, that it's the outside noise is not writing the story. You are.
Correct. Yes. And if you believe those good reviews, you're going to start to get a little sloppy because, oh, I don't accept any feedback because my review said I'm 5 stars. But if you're going to believe the good reviews, then you also have to believe this was crap.
Yeah.
DNF.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've DNF'd bestsellers just because it wasn't for me. And it's
all relative.
It is all relative, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what's next for January Gilchrist? What have you got some more books on the horizon?
I do. You know what's really interesting? This is a big top secret, so I'm excited to be able to share this with you. I have
exclusives.
Exclusive. I have written what I think we would term a horror. So it's a historical Gothic horror with sirens.
Oh, hello. That sounds intriguing.
Yeah, so it's very feminist. So I really have thrown the kitchen sink at it in terms of Kate Morton. I heard her speak and she said that when she kind of found success, she just started writing what she wanted to write. And I was in a bit of a slump and I just thought, you know what? I'm going to get weird.
Nice.
And I have just written the juiciest, creepiest. You really, yes. So that is what's next, and it's currently on submission. And the most amazing, exciting news is it is with agents. I did not receive 100 rejections.
Hey, that's good.
Finally,
yes.
So again, keep at it. Ignore them. It is currently with agents being
that's so exciting. Well, look, where can people find you online?
They can find me at januarywrites.com. They can find me at January_writes on Instagram. And they can find me any online book retailers.
Excellent. Well, once again, I'd like to very much thank you, January Gilchrist, for joining the Australian Book Lovers podcast today and for talking with me because we've had a great, good old chat. I've really, really gotten a lot of great advice from you. So I'm really pleased to have had the chance to chat and I hope that you go off and have a fabulous rest of your day.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Bye for now. Thank you once again, January Gilchrist, for chatting with me about your amazing novel, The Final Chapter, which, well, I mean, when you come right down to it, we're all potentially writers thinking, retreat, that sounds fun.
Yeah. And then where a murder happens, come on.
Yeah. And I love that she's got all the different types of writers that could possibly be thrown into a room together.
Lent into the stereotypes. It's really good. But of course, with nobody in particular in mind, she wouldn't like to do that.
I did love her talking about writers' retreats because that has actually been something that has always been in the back of the mind. I wonder how those writers' retreats go. I wonder how weird and kooky they are. But I'm not sure I'd like the whole being locked in a room to do my writing for the day.
Well, the 6 a.m. Oz writers have done a few retreats together with as many as could get together, and they don't do all of that. They do a bit of cooking together and a bit of relaxing, a bit of walking and a bit of other things. So yes.
See, I like that's a bit more together, even though we're crazy writers.
Yeah, short stints and you can ask if you need help and that kind of thing. So I think they do sprints and things like that. So that's a good thing.
Although I did love January talking about how creepy it is going for a walk on your own in a location that you know has a dark history. It's like
haunted house codes.
I love a good haunted house story.
Yes. All right. and her book came off the slush pile. So
Yes, which
just
it's
hang
so
in there,
wonderful
people.
hearing those stories
Yeah,
because when you do hear those slush pile stories, you do think, okay, okay, keep working at it, keep working
that's
at it,
it. Yeah,
because it does happen.
it does. Yeah,
Mm,
it can happen. So get
yeah.
in there, people. And
Yes.
right. I want to see more books
Yes.
on the website. I want to see more books in the bookstores, all of those kind of things.
And
Thank you
telling
to
people
January
about them.
Gilchrist, an
Yes.
opportunity a writer would die for. Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Yep.
Another one to get. All right. We
Yes.
need some quotes, Laurie. What have you got
Oh,
to
we
start us
do.
off for
Well,
the year?
I thought, and my page has moved, so now I have to find my spot. So let me find that again. There we go. Wonderful one from Ursula Le Guin, who is one of my favorite writers. As for write what you know, I was regularly told this as a beginner. I think it's a very good rule, and I've always obeyed it. I write about imaginary countries, alien societies on other planets, dragons, wizards, the Napa Valley in 22002, which is a very long way off. I know these things. I know them better than anyone else possibly could, so it is my duty to testify about them.
That is brilliant.
I love that
Yeah.
one. Being a sci-fi writer, fantasy writer,
Yes.
totally understand.
And always went her own way. That is brilliant. All right.
Yep.
I've got something from Red Smith, who was in fact a sports writer. And there was a little bit of research as to who actually said this thing first. But the quote is, there is nothing to writing. All you do is sit down at a typewriter, open your veins and bleed. It was also then attributed to
Was it a Hemingway?
Hemingway, yes.
Yeah.
But Hemingway was a fan of Red Smith's, and somebody went back and looked at all of
Misquoted.
when it was first out and all those kind of things. So yes, Red Smith apparently, because he was asked, how do you write a daily blog and you've written one for so long? And that's what he said. There is nothing to writing. All you do is sit down at a typewriter, open your veins and bleed.
Yeah. Yep. Sometimes writing can be like that, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But we
Yeah.
wouldn't have it any other way, Laurie, would we?
I don't think it's weird. I think if it was easy, it wouldn't be as meaningful.
No.
Yes.
Very special authors. If you hang to the end of the chapter, if you wait till the end of the episode, you will hear Laurie Bell read a little excerpt from book 4 of the Stones of Power series, The Serpent's Kiss. So stay in her own dulcet tones, reading her own story on the episode. That is lovely.
Yes.
We have to remind you, and I don't think this ever gets old, really.
No, it never does, because we
Yes.
should always remember to
read
more
Aussie
books. Yes, and we should definitely tell everyone about them.
Yes.
We
So
should
happy
add that to the
2026.
tagline.
Read at least 2 more books than you did last year, which would be
Yes,
brilliant.
that's good. I love that as motivation. That's a
Yeah,
good one.
just 2 more.
Just
Just
2
squeeze
more.
2 more in. That'll be right. Yeah, lovely.
Nice.
All right. Enjoy your summer reading, everybody, and we'll be back next episode 161. So stay tuned
Oh, goodness.
for Laurie's little read. Bye for now.
Bye for now. So I'm going to read a little bit of The Serpent's Kiss. Not long after, Mum parked her car outside their favourite coffee shop on Main Street. I'll be back. I want a drink too, Sarah said, following Mum inside. I'll go look at the books. Come get me, Tracy shouted, pointing to the bookshop in the distance. Sarah waved, and Tracy headed down Main Street alone, shoving her cell phone into her back pocket. The last song they listened to before Mum flipped the car engine off bounced around inside her head. She hummed and bopped along to it as she walked. The sun was out despite the cooler air, and it warmed her face as she glanced into window displays, marvelling at how different her hometown felt after their overseas trip. Everything was brighter, slower, and a little kitschy, a bit like a rom-com movie. She walked past boutique clothing stores, touristy New Age knick-knack gift shops, and the Milton Falls confectionery. The magic stones under her shirt buzzed softly. Tracy stopped dead in the middle of the sidewalk. A soft curse and a grumble erupted behind her as a figure walked past, swerving to go around her. She pressed her hand to her neckline. The butterfly stone only buzzed if magic was being used nearby. She couldn't see anything out of the ordinary. A few shoppers with green lit bracelets wandered the streets, peering through shop windows as Tracy was doing, or stood chatting with each other, crowding the sidewalk. A pretty typical Sunday morning. But Tracy's skin itched. She couldn't pinpoint where the not right feeling was coming from, or what it warned her against. Narrowing her eyes against the glare of the sun, Tracy tried to figure it out. Was it just her imagination? In the distance, a crackling laugh echoed down Main Street. It didn't get any louder, but it also didn't fade away. Someone was certainly having a good day. Tracy huffed out a breath and shrugged. Weird. Turning right, she headed toward the bookstore. A car thundered past, splashing dirty puddle water all over Tracy's shoes and soaking her socks. She darted back, letting out a screech of horror and surprise. Her face heated as nearby shoppers laughed, catching sight of her plight. She threw up her hands. Oh, come on. What caused that puddle to form? The sun was out, and she was sure it hadn't rained this morning. There were no other visible puddles anywhere in the street, just that one right in the absolute worst spot ever. She jumped back further as a second car drove past a fraction too fast, sending up another drenching, dirty wave. Oh, gross. Cold brown water stained her lime green socks. She imagined she could hear her toes squelching as she scrunched them inside her soaking wet trainers. The laugh in her head sounded louder now, and younger. It wasn't Timothy. Are they laughing at me? If the water was some kind of practical joke she literally walked right into, she would be furious. Tracy spun on the spot, searching for the culprit. Ugh, I need to take off my shoes and socks. She hunted for a seat, but every street-side seat was full, even the ones up near the joint double-door entrance to the council building and library. Tracy hobbled closer. That's odd. The council office doors were open. Unusual for a Sunday morning. Still, the timing was perfect. She could sneak inside and go to the bathroom to dry her feet. The council building was a 3-story, imposing white-painted building. Tracy climbed the steps and entered the dark marble foyer. To her left was a library. To her right was the council chambers and the desk where people went to pay fines. The only time she'd ever been on that side was when Dad got that parking fine. He had been so mad at himself, and his mood tainted the whole experience. Hopefully there would be paper towels inside the bathroom she could use to dry her feet. If she hid in the bathroom stall, she could even use her magic to heat her shoes and dry them out. Hello? She called out. Is anyone here? Her squelchy footfalls echoed on the tiled floor. She spotted a sign pointing to the bathrooms down the corridor between the council offices and the library and pushed open the single swing door. It was a long room with an exit at the end. Shutting the door of the first toilet stall, she slipped off her shoes and socks and whispered her heating spell, holding her silvery glowing hands over the damp items until they dried. She glared at the silver sheen. Her magic used to glow with golden warmth, but since taking hold of the serpent's kiss, her magic was this unusual, shiny silver colour. She hoped it wasn't a bad change. The vibration of her necklaces buzzed aggressively beneath her black superhero t-shirt. Her gaze sprang to the closed stall door. Hello? Someone out there? Greeny grey, foggy smoke seeped in beneath the stall door. It smelt icky, like a gas station that had dead rats in the ceiling. Tracy grabbed her shoes in one hand and her socks in the other and backed towards the toilet, not wanting the smoke to touch her. What the? Her instincts screamed to get away from it. She leaned over the fog and popped the stall door open, jumping the foggy tendrils that were drifting closer over the stall floor. She stood in the outer bathroom near the sinks, gasping softly in the cool air. Her heart pounded faster as the smoky fog gave off a slight hissing sound and grew thicker, like someone had switched on a theatre smoke machine and pressed it right against the bathroom door entrance. The fog crept further into the bathrooms, surrounding all of the stall doors, and inched towards the mirrors and sinks, seemingly heading straight for Tracy's feet. It's like it's coming after me. Read it now.
Let's meet again. Where magic happens.